Right, so this particular forum is the very first of its kind, and organizers here tell me that the aim of it is to bring various stakeholders from across the world who have met here or who are meeting here in Kigali, Rwanda, to have a common ground on identifying some of the specific areas of investment for private investors and also governments when it comes to forests and landscape reclamation, especially those that have been degraded. Now, we all understand that African countries have committed to, restoring 100 million hectares of land under the Bone Challenge by 2030. This forum here is aimed at also taking stock at how far, this restoration has come. Now, it is also important to understand that very few private investors have seen the need to actually invest in forest and landscape restoration. And there is an organization that has actually come up with a report, and they will be presenting it right here at this particular forum. And the organization is actually saying that, there are some key issues that are actually pulling back private investors from coming into investing in forest and landscape restoration. Let's have a listen to Sarah, who is the president of that particular organization, and what she had to say about this.
But what we discovered was that in all of these landscape partnerships that are growing so rapidly, only 1/4 of them have private sector business interests in them. Now, this is crazy because who actually manages the resources in landscapes? It's private sector, it's farming, it's agribusiness, it's other kinds of processing groups. So we set out to say, why is it that there were not more businesses engaged? Well, it turns out that there's major policy constraints. It turns out that most businesses haven't figured out how they could benefit from being in a landscape partnership. It turns out that most of the groups promoting landscape partnerships don't know anything about business. And it turns out that it's very difficult to get financing for investments in landscape-friendly business.
Right, so most investments in forest and landscape restoration efforts will yield productivity, but not all of them will yield profits, which most private institutions are looking for. Now, how will they be able to balance this equation of productivity versus profitability?
Well, this is why a partnership approach is required. The forest landscape restoration offers multiple benefits simultaneously. But as you rightfully said, not all those benefits can be driven by a profit motive. Some of them are about public goods, the supply of public goods, clean water, safety of local communities against landslides. Those are public goods that actually can't be they're not easy to translate into private opportunities. So this is why it requires to see public and private sector actually working together on these partnerships where we bring different mechanisms and different financing resources to work on specific elements of landscape restoration.
The landscape programs, like all of these forest and landscape restoration initiatives, they need not only to have an action plan, they need a financing strategy at the scale of the landscape of what kinds of financial institutions can come in place and support our businesses and support our farmers and support our organizations in a coordinated way. And the third one is that the financial institutions themselves are not very knowledgeable about what a landscape-friendly investment looks like. And we're promoting a finance community of practice so that the financial institutions can work together to find some of the solutions for this.
Right, there have been a lot of conversations around these matters of forest and landscape restoration, and of course it is expected that this forum here will yield a lot of action plans that will be followed to the latter by participants here when they go back to their homes. For KTN News in Kigali, Rwanda, I'm Eugene Anangwe reporting.